Hi all, greetings from the YouTube channel IELTS Login. Keeping pace with the grammar series, we are here with yet another video. In the previous two lectures, we discussed the definition of sentence and the definition of grammar. This time, we are going to talk about phrase. What is a phrase? And after that, we will discuss the types of phrases. So, let's get started. So far as the phrase is concerned, please mark my words. Phrase is always a group of words. One word cannot make a phrase. Whenever we are talking about phrase, it means we are talking about minimum two group of words. It can be 2, 3, 4, 10 words can also be there in a sentence. So minimum two words must be there in a phrase. Then only it is called a phrase. As we discussed in the previous lecture, when we were discussing the definition of a sentence, we took two major aspects to analyze the sentence. In the same way, today also we will discuss the definition of a phrase on the basis of these four aspects. So the first aspect I have just mentioned, that is a phrase is a group of words. Then the second most important thing is it is without a tense element. A phrase is without a tense element or a finite verb. Sentence is a group of words with tense element. A phrase is a group of words without tense element. Now, moving on to the third part, it makes sense. A phrase makes sense but does not make complete sense. Then the last aspect is that it cannot stand on its own. A phrase cannot stand on its own. It is always a part of a sentence. So let's discuss the definition. A phrase is a group of words without a tense element or a finite verb in it. It makes sense but does not make complete sense. It cannot stand on its own. It is always a part of a sentence. So this is the definition of sentence on the basis of four aspects: group of words without tense element, not complete meaning, and part of a sentence. Let's move on to the examples of a phrase. The train can arrive at any moment. Now here, at any moment, this is a phrase. At is a preposition, any is determiner, and moment is noun. At any moment. So this is a phrase. Then next example, Rohit does his work without any care. Without is preposition, any again determiner, and care is noun. Without any care is a phrase in this sentence. Then the third example, the chief lived in a house built of wood. Built is verb, of is preposition, and wood is noun. Built of wood. So here it is a phrase. Moving on to the next example, early to bed is a good routine. Early is an adverb, to is preposition, and bed is noun. So early to bed is a phrase. So these are the four examples: at any moment, without any care, built of wood, and early to bed. So this is what we mean by phrase. Phrase is a group of words without a tense element. It can make sense, but complete sense will not be there. It has to depend on the other part of a sentence. Then it is part of a sentence. It cannot stand independently on its own like a sentence. One more thing I want to add here. When we talk about phrase, there are different uses of phrase. A phrase can act as an adjective also in a sentence. It can play the role of an adverb also, a noun also. It can be a subject or object in a sentence. So we shall discuss all these things in the types of phrases which we are going to discuss just now. I hope the definition of phrase is clear to you. A group of words without tense element, part of a sentence, and does not have complete sense. Now let's discuss the types of phrases. Broadly speaking, there are three types of phrases on the basis of the function or the work they perform in a sentence: adjective phrase, adverb phrase, and noun phrase. So we'll discuss all these phrases one by one. Uh, the types of phrases will depend on the function they perform in a sentence. Uh, Adjective phrase, adverb phrase, and noun phrase. Please keep one thing in your mind. When we talk about adjective phrase, it means the role is adjective. The role they are performing, or the role a group of word is performing, is that of an adjective, but it is a group of words. If one word is there which tells us the quality of a noun, then it is adjective. If two words are there, or a group of words without a tense element is there, it is called an adjective phrase. Similarly, adverb phrase, a group of words without a tense element that does the work of an adverb, is called adverb phrase. And in the same way, noun phrase, a group of words without a tense element that does the work of a noun in a sentence, is called noun phrase. Now let's discuss the uh, three types of phrases one by one. First of all, we have adjective phrase. I have just told you what is an adjective phrase. An adjective phrase is a group of words without a tense element. This is a very important aspect of a phrase. Phrase will not have a tense element, because if a phrase has got a tense element, it will be called a clause, not a phrase. So this is a special aspect, or the most important aspect to be kept in mind when we are talking about phrase. That phrase is always without a tense element. You call it a tense element or a finite verb, one and the same thing. So an adjective phrase is a group of words without a tense element or a finite verb in it that does the work of an adjective in a sentence. What is the role of an adjective? Obviously, it tells the quality of a noun, right? It gives us the answer of who, whom, or which. These are the functions of adjective in a sentence. Now, obviously, the adjective phrase will also perform the same function. It means an adjective phrase. It tells the quality of a noun. It answers who, whom, or which part of a sentence. Let's see some examples. I like to see a face. Which face? With a smile on it. So with a smile on it is an adjective phrase, because it is telling us something more about the face. Face is a noun, so the quality of face obviously will be an adjective. And as we are using group of words to describe a face, that's why it is called an adjective phrase. Let's see the second example. I met a boy. Immediately a question comes to our mind. Who? I met a boy with blue eyes, right? With blue eyes. So with blue eyes is the quality of a boy. Then the next example, the principal gave away the prizes to the students with excellent academic record. With excellent academic record. So the principal gave the students, gave the prizes to whom? To the students. Whom? With excellent academic record. So this is again an adjective phrase. Now the last example, his friend belonged to a tribe. Which tribe? Dwelling in the hills. Dwelling in the hills is an adjective phrase. So I hope the meaning of adjective phrase is clear to you. Adjective phrase gives us an answer of who, whom, or which part of a sentence. So this is all about adjective phrase. Now we shall move on to the adverb phrase. An adverb phrase plays the role of an adverb, right? Obviously, what is an adverb? Adverb uh, modifies. What is the role of an adverb in a sentence? It can modify a verb, an adverb, an adjective, or it can also modify a whole sentence. So that is the role of an adverb. But it is called adverb only when it is one word. But when we are talking about group of words without a tense element, that is called an adverb phrase. And what are the different uses of adverb phrase? We shall discuss in this definition. Adverb phrase or an adverb can tell us time. It can also talk about place, then obviously manner is the most important role or the function of an adverb, and it also tells us the frequency. There are many more functions, but broadly speaking, these are the four main functions of an adverb, and obviously adverb phrase will also perform these four functions in a sentence. So what is an adverb phrase? An adverb phrase is a group of words without a tense element or a finite verb in it that does the work of an adverb in a sentence. Adverb is one word, adverb phrase is two or more than two words without a tense element. It means adverb phrase. Adverb phrase generally modifies a verb, adjective or another adverb. It answers how means manner, then when means time, where means place, or how often means frequency. So it answers how, when, where, or how often part of a sentence. Let's see some examples. The first example, Ramesh answered. How? Ramesh answered how? In a very rude way. In a very rude way is an adverb phrase. It is a group of words without a tense element, and it tells us about the manner. It gives the answer of how part of a sentence. The second example, the train is arriving. When? The train is arriving at the very moment. It means the train is going to arrive now. So it gives us when part of a, it answers the when part of a sentence. It tells us about time. Look at the third sentence. He fell. Immediately a question comes to our mind, where? He fell near the bench. So near the bench is an adverb phrase. It tells us about place. It answers where part of a sentence. Now the last example, Sumit goes to cinema. How often? Sumit goes to cinema twice a week. Now, what is this twice a week? It tells us the frequency of an action. How often the action takes place? Oh, it happens twice a week. I hope the meaning of adverb phrase is clear to you. Adverb phrase modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb in a sentence. It answers how, when, where, and how often part of a sentence. So that's all about the adverb phrase. Now moving on to the next type of phrase, that is noun phrase. Noun phrase. What is a noun phrase? What is the role of a noun? Noun is a naming word, and two major roles it plays in a sentence. One is the role of a subject and one is the role of an object. So noun can play a role of a subject or an object in a sentence. Similarly, noun phrase, obviously it will also play the role of a subject or an object in a sentence. So what is a noun phrase? A group of words without a tense element or a finite verb in it that does the work of a noun in a sentence is called a noun phrase. If one word is there, obviously it is called noun. If two or more than two words are there without a tense element, then it is called a noun phrase. So let's look at the definition of this. A noun phrase is a group of words without a tense element or a finite verb in it that does the work of a noun in a sentence. It can play the role of subject or object. It answers what part of a sentence. Like adjective phrase tells us who, whom, or which part of a sentence. Adverb phrase answers how, when, where, or how often part of a sentence. Noun phrase answers what part of a sentence. What part of a sentence. So here are some examples. We enjoyed. Immediately a question is there in our mind. We enjoyed what? Obviously this will be answered with an object. What is the object here? Playing cricket. We enjoyed playing cricket. Now this playing cricket is a noun phrase. It is acting as an object in a sentence. The second example, I tried to get the correct answer. I tried what? To get the correct answer. So to get the correct answer is a noun phrase. I try to get the correct answer. In the first two sentences, we have seen that noun phrase is acting as an object. Now let's see two sentences where noun phrase will play the role of a subject. To win the first prize is my ambition. What is my ambition? To win the first prize. So to win the first prize is acting as subject here. Then in the last sentence, traveling in a dusty train gives me no pleasure. What gives me no pleasure? Traveling in a dusty train. So these are the four examples of noun phrase. I hope the three types of phrases are clear to you. Definition of phrase and three types of phrases are done. Now let's discuss some exercises. You can take it as a homework also. I will read out the sentences. You have to pick out the phrases. Then you have to mention whether the phrase is adjective phrase, noun phrase, or an adverb phrase. We have already discussed. Now let's do the exercise. Pick out the phrases from the following sentences and say whether they are adjective phrase, adverb phrase, or noun phrase. I shall read the answers, read the questions for you. He speaks like a born orator. I do not know what to do. This is a matter of no importance. Vijay won the prize by means of trickery. Then standing about in a cold, wet wind did me no good. The last sentence, I have found the key to success. Now you can pause the video and try to find out the answers on your own and then tally the answers with me. I hope you must have paused the video. Now let's discuss the answers. The first sentence, he speaks. He speaks like a born orator. Now, like a born orator, this is a phrase in this sentence. How he speaks? Like a born orator. So obviously, it gives us the answer of manner. So it is an adverb phrase. It is an adverb phrase because it tells us how part of a sentence, it is telling us the manner, how the things are taking place. Then the next sentence, I do not know. Immediately a question comes to our mind, what to do? I do not know what to do. So this is acting as a noun phrase here. So this is acting as a noun phrase here because it is giving us what part of a sentence, and it is used as an object. It is used as an object in a sentence. Moving on to the next part, this is a matter. Which matter? Of no importance. This is a matter of no importance. Obviously, it is telling us more about the matter. So this is an adjective phrase. This is an adjective phrase. It tells us which part of a sentence. It answers which part of a sentence. It tells us the quality. Quality of what? Quality of matter. Moving on to the third part. Vijay won the prize. How Vijay won the prize? By means of trickery. So by means of trickery is an adverb phrase. It is an adverb phrase, and it tells us how. So again, it gives us the answer of manner. What type of how it took place. The next example, standing about in a cold, wet wind did me no good. What did me no good? Standing about in a cold, wet wind. Obviously, it is a noun phrase. It is a noun phrase. It answers what part of a sentence, and it is used as a subject in a sentence. Moving on to the last part, I have found the key. Which key? To success. I have found the key to success. So this is an adjective phrase. This is an adjective phrase. It tells us which, right? It gives us the answer of key. Which key? So this is telling us the quality of key. Quality of key. I hope the exercise is clear to you, right? How many of you have got the correct answers, how many correct answers and how many incorrect answers, please do mention it in the comment section below. uh, I hope the meaning of phrase, the definition of phrase and its types are clear to everyone, right? Phrase is a group of words without tense element. Uh, then adjective phrase is a group of words without tense element. Does the role of an adjective. Adverb phrase, group of words without a tense element that does the role of an adverb in a sentence. And noun phrase is a group of words without a tense element that does the role of noun in a sentence. So if you find today's video useful, please do subscribe the YouTube channel IELTS Login and hit the bell icon to all for the latest videos and updates and notifications. Keep learning, keep growing.